think the NFC is going to be just interesting to watch. And we haven't even talked about the NFC West yet, but we will here in a couple minutes. We do have Damian Waiter scheduled to come on here in the next minute or two to talk about point pickers really quick, and he's going to help us talk about the NFC West. I know he doesn't want to make any predictions. He told me that earlier, just based off any fantasy or even he doesn't want to damage any integrity with point pickers. I completely understand that. So we'll have him in here in the next minute or two, maybe a couple, 3 minutes or so, talk about point pickers once again, and then he'll talk the NFC West with us, and then we'll get him off, and then we'll finish with the playoffs, and we'll predict our Super Bowl winner here in the last half hour of the show. But we want to hear from our loyal listeners out there. If you have a question or comment, give us a call at 347-996-5176. The phone lines are open here. We will get you on the air, but make sure, of course, your language is clean. You can tweet to us at Andrew_Vision at ShaneMiller27. And, of course, follow the network on Twitter at TSCRN and Fantasy Sports Warehouse at Fantasy Sports WH. I'd like to bring in Damian, who is now with us on the Vig and Miller Show. Welcome, Damian.
Hey, thanks for having me. Andrew, am I late? I thought I was right on time.
I said 8 o'clock. It doesn't matter, but we got you on at 8:30. No big deal. But, yeah, I mean, obviously Point Pickers is starting up here basically in the next couple of days. We're about 48 hours away officially from game time, guys. It's unbelievable. The season's starting up in 2 days. But for Point Pickers, for everybody who's new out there, talk about Point Pickers a little bit, and we'll get into our affiliation with you guys. But talk about what Point Pickers is in general and how fans can win some money.
Sure, I'd love to. It is funny. Ever since I started developing this site, this is the third year we're going into now, the football season just comes around way too fast. There's so many things we try to do on the off season to upgrade the site and get more people involved, and it's crazy how fast it comes around as opposed to all the years where we sat and waited for it and waited for it and waited for it. But when you're expecting and you got to get work done, it seems to come around that much faster, which is now a good thing. But anyways, Point Pickers is it's really a pick'em. It's just an NFL pick'em game. It's a pick'em game in general. We do just the NFL now, but we're going to expand it later to many other sports. But it's got a little bit of a dynamic to it in that it's not just about the wins and losses. You are ranking your teams, so you're ranking them from 1 to 16 or 1 to 14, depending how many games are that week. And you're ranking them according to how easy you think that particular victory will be. So it puts a real big emphasis on strategy in terms of making sure that you are not overthinking some of the selections you make. The good thing is that there's no point spread, so you're just basically picking. It's just a pick'em choice, and so a lot of people think that's easy to do, but it really isn't when you bring in the dynamic of the point system, because we not only give you the points if you win, but we subtract the points if you lose. And it could be difficult to make sure you're putting those spots in the right place. You could have 2 losses, but if those 2 losses are 16 and 15, you're gone for the week, So it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of other features. I hope maybe we'll get into those a little bit more tonight. But it's really a great game to play. And the best thing about it all is that we pay our winners $100 every week. It's a Point Pickers debit card or it's just a debit card. It's $100 on it. We send it to you. Use it for anything you want. It's a Visa debit card, and we pay our as the points accumulate. Of course, the winner with the most points each week wins. But as the points accumulate throughout the year, the person with the most points at the end of the year, we give them a $1,000 Visa debit card. Point Pickers Visa debit card. So. It's not just a backpack. It's not just a hat. It's not just 2 tickets to Motel 6 somewhere in Utah. It's really a great deal.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And also, I just tweeted it out there. I know you can retweet it also, Damian.
We'll do.
We have the way you can play against the Vig and Miller Show, and that is to click on pointpickers.com/Vig and Miller. I just tweeted it out there. I'm sure Damian, again, will retweet it to his 3,000-plus followers. So get out there and play against us. It's going to be a lot of fun. You have to make your predictions now. Damian, this is also the question mark that a lot of people might have, since obviously there's Thursday games throughout the year now, starting this Thursday. Does everybody have to get their game in right away? Does everybody have to predict all 16 games this week by Thursday, or can they just predict the Ravens-Broncos game on Thursday and then predict everything else before Sunday?
Yeah, no, they just have to do the Thursday night game, and that's all they have to worry about. Eventually, I would like to get it to the point, and we will do this, where we can get into more deeper development. I'd like to have every game live until kickoff, so that way it really gives you up to game time to make those selections. But at this point, yes, you pick the one game on Thursday, and then you can pick the rest of the games, by which out here in the West Coast it's 10 a.m. PST, Pacific time, and 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, and that was a huge question mark, I think, for a lot of people, because they're not sure, at least at first, of what they're getting into. They have to make their prediction right away, or if they'd have to, if they could wait. And I know there's a tiebreaker strategy as well, where if you tie and you make, say, your predictions on Tuesday, all your predictions on Tuesday instead of maybe Saturday, you have the edge here. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know we have some new listeners listening, so if they are interested in playing, I want them to know everything that goes with Point Pickers.
That's right. That's actually our final tiebreaker. I don't know that it will really come to that, so I'll go through that whole process. But yeah, we do allow people to pick on Thursday, and the biggest thing about that is that the injury report comes out on Friday. So that's the key for people that want to make their picks on Saturday or Sunday, because they want to wait for the injury report. Sometimes, obviously, it makes a big deal. But in terms of the tiebreaker, what we do are two things. Number one, we have differential points, which is the initial tiebreaker. So what I always hated about pick'em systems was that you always have to put your final score for the Monday night game, and I hated doing that, like 54 points or 40 points or 30 points or whatever it may be. So I said, I want to do something that designates a tiebreaker without our members having to do anything else, and we've done just that. So let's say you got the Niners and the Rams, or the Niners and the Packers, let's say the first week, and the Niners win 17 to 10. That differential is 7 points. If you pick the Niners, you'll multiply that 7 points by whatever rank you have them at. So if you multiply them, if you have them at 1, you get 7 points. If you have them at 10, you get 70 points. If you have the Packers, you multiply the negative by that rank, by your rank, and so you'll have negative 70 points. So if somebody comes up with all the same picks, not all the same picks, but the same amount of points according to the picks that they made, that differential is the first tiebreaker that we get. Now, even with that, last year we did have a tie. And I had to, what we did is we roll it over. We roll over our ties for the weekly winners. And I was so frustrated with that, I said, you know what, there's got to be a different way. And so I talked to my soon-to-be nephew-in-law, who's a mathematician and one of those guys who can tell you what he does, but then he has to kill you. And he couldn't even come up with a mathematical thing that would ensure us not having a tiebreaker. And then one day it just dawned on me. A timestamp. It's that simple. As soon as you hit save, we timestamp your picks, and the person with the earliest timestamp will break the tie. It's that simple. And there's no way in heck that someone will have the same points, the same tiebreaker differential point, and the same timestamp. So we're pretty sure we're not going to get any ties this year.
PointPickers.com/Big and Miller. Obviously, you win $100 for the week if you win against the entire pool. Do you know how many guys really have signed up? How many people have signed up? Is there going to be a big pool? I know this was a couple weeks ago. It was kind of short, but what is it now?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's a small pool right now. We've only got about, I'd say, 15 to 18 people signed up, but that's going to change massively in the next 3 days. I wouldn't say that will hold for long. Our sign-up period is typically 3 or 4 days before the first week starts, and then it carries into basically the whole month of September. And last year we got over 200 members signed up. Now, granted, last year it was a free membership because we were still testing out the system, and we added all the extra features, so it is a $29 fee this year. But that's for all year. So when we add PGA and NASCAR next year in 2014, that will apply to that as well. So we're probably not going to have as many. I don't think we're going to average 80 people a week like we used to. But if anybody wants to jump on board right now, it's pretty in terms of having people sign up, because this is the first year we've had a fee. So if people are smart, they're going to get in and they're going to play, because I'll guarantee you if it stays this low, around 40 to 50 or 60 people to play, we're going to have multiple winners, and we've never had that. So it's going to be interesting.
That's anybody who's listening out there, that's the reason why you should play right now, Point Pickers. You have an awesome chance to go out and win multiple weeks, because there's not many people out there right now. And that doesn't necessarily signal any popularity. That just means the way it is right now. We haven't started the season yet, so there's plenty of opportunities for you to come in and make a big difference, and for you to win right away. I mean, you said it's $29 for sign-up. That's the fee, but still, you can take that back in 1 week and win $100 in 1 week. And if there's only 20 to 30 to 40 people, you have a chance to win multiple, 2, 3, 4 times within a season, which really 3 times is a lot to begin with. But, hey, with not very many people right now, here's your opportunity to make it quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a beginning year for us with this new fee thing, and we also want a lot of feedback. You guys go look at the pick distribution, take a look at the private parties, take a look at the stats, and give us feedback, because we want to know what stats you guys want to see. It's very implemental. We have so much data we collect in terms of the games itself and who picks what and that kind of a thing. We want to be able to provide you the stats you want. And we're growing with partners too that help us out, like Big and Miller, in terms of really being able to gain knowledge in support of the picks you make. So it is a great opportunity. This opportunity will be the last year for that opportunity. I guarantee you this will not be this low next year and the year after that and the other sports. So it really is a great time to jump on board and try to win that $100. And then remember, if you win once, whether it's a weekly win or the season win, you are in Point Pickers for life. You never have to pay a fee again. So that's another incentive we're giving people.
There you go. That's another reason to join in. Again, pointpickers.com/Big and Miller tweeted it out. I know, Damien, you'll retweet it as well. We're going to get some more people to join in our group and to join for your group as well. Remember, 2 days away from the beginning of the NFL season. So before we let you go, I know you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, Damien. So
I'm a big Niners.
I
went to the first Super Bowl.
I want to get your thoughts really quick before we get you out of here about the 49ers, because we are going to start talking about the NFC West. So perfect timing, actually, believe it or not. So give me your thoughts about the 49ers.
Well, I think it's going to be a great. I think we've gone in the last 5 years from being the lousiest conference the lousiest division in the league to the best division. And we got the 2 top teams. I constantly look at all the different power rankings. They got us and then Seattle and us and Seattle. And I think the big reason for that is our defenses. I think both defenses are really solid. They've done great stuff in the draft. They've got great coaches, and now they've got great quarterbacks, which is something we never had, nor did Seattle, for a long time. So I think it's going to be real exciting. I fear going up to Seattle. They're a tough opponent, and even the Rams are going to be tough. And who knows what Arizona's going to do. They may pop out and do something. But it's going to be a fierce division, and it's going to be real exciting. But I love my Niners, and hopefully we're going back to the Super Bowl.
All right, man. I know you don't want to make any official predictions. It's clearly understandable, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the 49ers and, of course, talk a little bit about Point Pickers. So I appreciate you coming on, man. We're definitely going to be talking again soon.
Yeah, hope to see you. I can't wait to see you guys in the first week. It'll be a lot of fun. Also, we added Facebook commenting under the results for both the private parties and the results, so make sure you get your comments in. Rip on all your buddies. Make sure you let them know you're the best, and we'll have a lot of fun.
All right, man. Looking forward to it.
All right, Shane. Take care, you guys. See you, Andrew. Thanks a lot.
No problem. And that was Damien Waiter of Point Pickers coming on the show to talk a little bit about Point Pickers as a whole. Again, sign up going to pointpickers.com/Big and Miller. And, of course, we wanted to ask him about the San Francisco 49ers as well, just because he is a 49ers fan. Just wanted to give us his thoughts about that.